Everybody, welcome back with the Plapper. Platypus is the name, and everyone's favorite Persona 5 character is the next banner. I, of course, am talking about Fox. He is going to be the next one of the game, and I thought today would be a fun we're going to go over his preview, basically his kit. So I haven't used him in game, obviously, because he's not in the game yet, and I haven't played the CN version. But I have played enough of the game where I think I could read and I can infer how good he is going to be. But I will be pulling for this unit, and I will give you more information as we get there. But I thought it'd be fun to at least take an early look. That way you can get excited about what to expect when Fox comes into the game. Jump right into it. So he is an Ice Element Sweeper. So he's going to specialize in AoE attacks, and he is going to be Ice, which I gotta say is very, very nice, because right now we have two Ice characters, Soy and Mont. They are both single target damage dealers primarily, so having a sweeper in the ice is exactly what they need. But more importantly here, we're going to talk about his trait, but one thing I want to highlight here, all of these skills scale off defense. This is the second defense stacking character, which means this will probably work really good just in general on a team with Yuki, or she's the light chick in the game. So she should be able to increase defenses and stuff, so that should work very well with him as well, giving Yuki a home. Because right now, most of the tankiness has come from HP scaling, which Marion is really good at. But I think it'll be really cool to actually see Yuki getting a team here, which, just in case you don't remember her, is her right here. One thing I want to highlight here is I have this character built a little bit, not super well. She has 1500 defense. And this character, Closer, who I also don't have built very well, but I have built better, she has 1506 defense. So this character actually has more defense despite not being maximally awakened. So I think you're going to be able to get your defense relatively equal to maybe even higher than your attack. So these percentages I think are relatively safe to compare to attack percentages. But it's just a better scaling stat in general. It's a better stat to scale because it gives you defense in addition to damage. So first, let's take a look at awareness 0. Then we'll look at the skills. We'll come back to the other awarenesses, because this is really what the kit is about. When taking skill damage, there is a 65% fixed chance to trigger Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance is a counterattack that deals 66% of defense as ice damage to a foe as a resonant attack. It says follow-up, but that means resonance. So this could be upgraded to Dragon's Roar. That'll be in his skill. So basically, whenever an enemy hits him, he has a 65% chance to just counterattack. Boom. And honestly, that's a pretty reasonable counterattack. I think it's about on par with, it's probably weaker than Mont's follow-up, because she does 65% and it's a guaranteed crit. But this could happen, 4 times a turn, theoretically 5 times if it triggered. And we'll talk about his highlight in a second here, which will actually increase that. So very first here, Chill Break. 72% damage as ice damage to all foes, 100% chance to inflict to the main target with freeze. This is super mid. This is like a skill you would expect on just like a normal 4-star. It doesn't really do anything. I mean, it's okay damage. It's the fact that it guarantees a freeze, but it's mostly to break shields on all foes to make sure you hit them once. I don't think this skill is going to be used a lot. However, Frost Slash, the S2, deals 92.9% defense as ice damage to random foes 5 times. So up to 5 foes, it will prioritize foes that haven't been hit yet. So if there's 5 foes, this will already do more damage than Chill Break. And if there's less than 5 foes, it'll do more damage than Chill Break. So there has to be 6 foes for this, and I don't even know if that's possible. So I don't understand why Chill Break is here unless this is mistranslated. Also, really quick before we jump a second further, Fox is not considered very good, okay, in the tier lists. However, Yuki wasn't, and she got buffed, so there might be changes when they actually announce the character. There might be buffs, there might not though, so I don't know. We're just going with what we have for now. But deals 92.9% defense as ice damage to random foes 5 times. It's just like Closer's Lightning, basically. It'll just start hitting the same target more than once if all enemies have been hit, or there's one enemy, it'll just hit them 5 times. When you have shield, additionally increase skill damage by 30%. Woo! That is nice. That's a lot. 30% more damage when you have shield, which is something that's probably something you want anyway. Decrease skill damage by 60% when attacking the same foe up to a minimum of 20%. So I assume that this doesn't mean like, this means you can do a minimum of 20% initial damage. So that means if you hit one target all 5 times, the first one does, you know, with the 92, and then, well, let's just say that's 100% of the damage you deal, and then you are going to hit them 4 more times. And even if the 2, 4, 6, so if it's 2, 4, 60% damage, let's say 3 of them are down to 20%, and that last hit is down 60%, making it 40, which sounds weird, but 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, it would be 200% damage, basically. It would be a 180% defense. I know that math sounds weird, and I might be wrong, but that is the way I understand it here, is that if there's only one target, you'll actually hit them for the 180, whatever, 485, you know? So that is pretty darn good. That's not broken, but that's not bad for a skill, especially when he's primarily a counter attacker. So then you get to his S3, his ultimate, bro. Single target buff. Your next Dragon Dance becomes a Dragon's Roar. So we know what Dragon's Dance is, right? This is the one that is the counterattack. Dragon's Roar is it also increase the chance to trigger counter to 100%. So you're just always countering every single time you're hit. Increases the chance to counter to 100%. This sounds like to me it is only once. So it's like the next time you get hit, you will use a Dragon's Roar, basically. And the Dragon's Roar, instead of the 65%, is 100%. But then it'll go back to normal. But then you increase skill multiplier by 58.6% of defense. So that's huge. And it's an AoE attack. So you're guaranteed to do this, and you're going to do 58.6% more than the 66, and it becomes AoE. That's huge. And then automatically triggers Dragon's Roar if you haven't triggered it for one turn. So that means on the first turn of combat, you're going to just do this. Now, I don't know exactly how this synergy works. If you automatically trigger Dragon Roar, and because you haven't, will that negate that? Will that count as this, right? Or will you be able to use this, get a Dragon's Roar charge, and then the next time you counter, you'll still do a Dragon's Roar? I don't know. But either way, this is a great turn 1 AoE attack. And then on the second turn, you can't use it again. You can do this, but it's not going to automatically trigger. But then you gain 19.5% defense plus 555 as shield for 2 turns. So now you have the shield thing that gets stronger when you shield. Turns your weakness into neutral, grants immunity to mental ailments, and taunts all foes for 2 turns. Oh my god, Fox, I'm in love with you. I don't remember Fox being such a tank. Do you? I remember him being like a samurai or something. You know, like he had the katana and shit. But now he has no weakness. He has immunity to mental ailments. He taunts all foes. He gets a 20% of his defense shield. And he does this huge counterattack. I love this. I actually love this. This is so fun. This is exactly my kind of play style too. I just love kind of tanky, beefy, bruisery characters. Now, his highlight. Deals 178.1% defense as ice damage to all foes. This is probably his highest damage attack. It looks like it's going to be higher than even his Dragon's Roar. It'll be probably not as much as against a single target as just a Frost Slash will, but still, it's good. It's reasonable damage. But this is what's really good. It increases the chance to trigger Dragon Dance by 35% for 3 turns. I don't know if you guys have done math. I've done a couple, but 65% plus 35, I mean, that's almost 100%. So this is going to be activating every single time he gets hit by his skill for 3 turns. I mean, that could be as high as 15 triggers. It probably won't be. That would have to be every enemy hits him with a skill, but it'll taunt him. He's going to taunt him. So who knows? I don't know exactly how insane that'll be, but it sounds pretty insane. It sounds like he's just going to be counterattacking like crazy. It's not going to be super easy to get the Dragon's Roar, though. It's mostly going to be single target because he only has this one way to upgrade it to Dragon's Roar. There's nothing else that does it. That'll probably come for more from Awakenings or Awarenesses, sorry. When gaining shield, increase damage bonus by 7.5% for 2 turns, up to 6 stacks. This part is kind of weird. So this is whenever you gain a shield. You want someone that, even though he can gain his own shield, to get up to 6 stacks is rough. You're going to want to run him with Puppet and probably, what the hell is her name? Yuki, I believe. That way you can get this up to 6 stacks over the course of maybe 2 turns. Because Yuki will give shield, Puppet will give shield. And it doesn't say that the shield has to stay. But if you want to get 2 turns, you want to get 6 stacks, that's not easy to do. So hopefully you will be able to get this, but that's a lot of bonus damage. I mean, what is it? It's not 75. That's what is that? 37.5 plus 7.5, 45% more damage, I think, which is fantastic. Just for, and also you're getting tankier because you're getting shield. So I like this. It's probably a little hard to keep full uptime on, but it's good. When using skills that give shield, that is literally only this one. Nothing else gives shield, but when you use this, you increase your penetration by 20% for a turn. This is one of those things that everyone says is so powerful on Marion, right? That she can give everyone penetration, but Fox can give it to himself on turn 1 when he does his biggest hit, and he gives himself the shield, so he's getting the damage. It's like, this is, obviously this is all meant to work together, but it works together so well. And overall, this is looking like probably the most fun character that I could imagine, basically. I mean, I'll admit this chill break seems lame, but having a Frost Slash, a 5-hit, like, slicing them the fuck up, getting like extra damage, and then, you know, increasing the penetration, and then every time they hit you, you're gonna Dragon's Dance, but then you could do an AoE Dragon's Roar, all while you're gaining a bunch of counterattacks, gaining shields, gaining defense, gaining damage. This is my style of character. I am very excited, and they read pretty good. So let's take a look if any awarenesses are gonna be worth it. After using his S3 2 times, additionally gain 1 Dragon's Roar. This counter will deal 70% damage. So this seems fine. It basically means you could use this 2 turns in a row. Well, I guess you can't use it 2 turns in a row. It's a little bit awkward of a skill because it has a 1-turn cooldown. But basically what's going to happen is you are going to use this on the first turn and nothing changes. Turn 2, you can't use this. So you're probably going to do something like Frost Slash. And then on turn 3, that's a little ways into the fight. Then you could use this again and you'll get 2 Dragon Roars. So this is some delayed gratification and it's not as strong. This does not seem broken to me. The fact that you don't even see it till turn 3 is a little bit slow. When Fox's HP is not below 35%, increased follow-up damage 70%. I mean, you could just read this as follow-up damage is increased 70%. This is insane. A3 is strong for sure. Highlight, increase counter damage by 30% for 3 turns. I mean, this is good as well. A5, you know, but now we're getting like silly high numbers. The point is the A1 doesn't seem that necessary to me. It doesn't seem very transformative. The A3 doesn't seem that transformative. I mean, don't get me wrong, the A1 is good, but I don't think I'm gonna like go for it. I'm okay getting the 1 Dragon's Roar instead of 2 on turns, you know, 3 or whatever. Also, Vibrant Breaststrokes, the final super ultimate, evolves Dragon Dance and Dragon Roar into Crazed Dragon Dance and Crazed Dragon's Roar. The Foxes now deal 2 hits of damage, each dealing 70% of the original damage, and gain 30% penetration when countering. So that means this guy will have, he can have up to 50% penetration when he uses a skill that has shield and then he gets hit. It'll give his counters, both of his counters, instead of doing 100% damage, they're going to do 140% damage because they're going to do 2 hits of 70% and they're going to get an extra 30 penetration. I mean, this is kind of, I think this is a little bonkers. This reads insanely powerful to me. This reads like absurd, honestly, to me. Maybe it's not. Maybe you get it and it's all just the percents because its defense scaling doesn't work out. But the fact that it's defense scaling means he's going to be hard to kill. He's going to be hard to kill while doing what seems like reasonable damage. And the more enemies you fight, the better he's going to get because the more chances he has to get hit, which means his damage output goes higher and higher. So yeah, honestly, I am very excited for Fox. This is not really what I envisioned when I thought of Fox. I thought of like an assassin, maybe even something more like what Ryuji is, where the lower your HP, the more damage you deal. And maybe I expected kind of Ryuji to be a little bit more tanky, bruisery, but maybe that's just how I built them in the game, and that's not necessarily lore. As for his weapon, I don't have his weapon here yet. I'll figure out what that does, and we'll make another video going over his weapons. But for now, that is all. Tell me, I'm kind of interested, what do you think about Fox? Is this who you're pulling on, or are you gonna wait for the upcoming Queens, Futabas? There's all kinds of, I just always hear character names and people are like, I'm never pulling until the 1 year I'm gonna get Barry. I won't even play the game for a year because I'm not having any fun anymore. But when Barry comes out, I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, you do you, man. I will be getting Fox 100%. There is a 0% chance that I won't. So I'm kind of interested in what you guys think. Anyway, guys, that's all for today. Much love. Let me know what you think in the comments. For Platypus, I'll see you on the flip-flops. Bye!
Watch the views go.